This is the Cubs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs Postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. My name is Joe George. You find me on all social media platforms at Joe George Radio, and the Cubs get the extra inning win, 1-0 over the Cleveland Guardians. Get the sweep. Cade Horton, fantastic. So much to talk about in this game. From Reese McGuire to the bullpen, we're going to hit on all of it here on the show, and your comments are always welcome live here on YouTube and off the air at Joe George Radio. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. All right, we will start with today, our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, even though the end of the game was exciting and the Cubs got the win, there's so much to talk about. I think we have to focus in on what happened in innings 1 through 7 with Cade Horton. Big bounce back start from him after getting shelled by the Houston Astros. Cade comes out there. The changeup was nasty this entire game. I mean, he was excellent pretty much from start to finish in this one. This is where you see the promise. Again, the strikeouts only 5 in the game today, but 7 innings of just shutdown baseball against the Cleveland Guardians. A fantastic start from him. It's really exciting to see these young players come up through the system and develop. And one of the questions I think I always have about prospects is, how do you rebound? Whether you're Matt Shaw and you're sent down to the minors and you're coming back up after struggling, or you're a pitcher and you go out there and you get rocked really for the first time in your career. What does the next start look like? And against the Guardians tonight, Cade Horton was just special. He was really good. I mean, Matt Shaw there in the post-game interview was talking about it a little bit at the end, just how good he was in the game. But again, the changeup in this one was just absurd. I mean, they kept showing the zoomed in focus on the baseball and watching that thing just spin and spin and spin and break away from hitters. He was really special in this game. So that to me is what was the most exciting part, just seeing Cade go out there for 7 innings and just be dominant. And to be honest, there's a ton of guys you could give the Locked On Player of the Game to in this one, because there's many guys on this team that deserve a shout out from the pitching staff. I mean, Chris Flexen to go out there and pitch the way he did, Drew Pomerantz, Ryan Presley. I mean, those guys, Ryan Brazier, the one out was a huge out against Jose Ramirez to come in there facing one of the best hitters, one of the best players on planet Earth, and to get him out and the way he did was a great battle that they had. Brazier got up on the first 2 strikes. Jose Ramirez gets it back to the 3-2 count, but eventually Brazier gets that pop out to PCA to end the inning. But again, then Ryan Presley comes in, does his job, gets through the 9th inning, and Flexen comes in with the man for man, a huge stressful situation. I mean, these ERAs it's just looking at them in the box score, it's almost like laughable in a way. I mean, Drew Pomerantz, 0.00, Ryan Brazier, 1.29, Chris Flexen, 0.62. I mean, the Cubs bullpen has been fantastic this year. And even though the Guardians are scuffling a little bit, like, you need those in a game in which your lineup does largely nothing until the 10th inning there. I mean, really very little contributions this entire game from the Cubs lineup. You need your pitching to be stellar, and that's what it was from Cade Horton through all those guys. So those guys were just absolutely phenomenal in this game. Another guy that I think we could give the Locked On Player of the Game to, and it's weird because on a traditional like box score, look, it doesn't really show up on anything. But Reese McGuire behind the plate today was a magician. 3 guys thrown out at second base. I mean, my favorite one is that last one that he had where the ball squirts away from him. He comes out of the other side of the batter and throws out the runner by a mile. Great tags by Dansby Swanson on all 3 of them. But Reese McGuire, like he has been another guy, just like all these little marginal moves. I know as Cubs fans, like we all want, the big contract for Tucker and PCA to be done and the big move at the deadline to happen. But part of the reason why the Cubs are where they are today, now 4 games, up in the division over the Milwaukee Brewers, over 50 wins on the season, a lot of that is just because of the marginal moves that Jed Hoyer has made. Like it's a lot of frustrations, but Reese McGuire, Drew Pomerantz, Chris Flexen, going out and getting Matthew Boyd, like they have gone out there and really added to this team and made it deep in a lot of ways. And it's just it's almost weird how all of it's worked out so well. These small moves have played such a big part of this team. We're getting close. It feels like to the Miguel Amaya return. I'm fascinated to see what the Cubs can do. I think there is a real argument, honestly, because of how little guys like Brujan play, to keeping 3 catchers on this roster. I don't know if the Cubs will do it, but Reese McGuire has been, with this bat has been solid, and then behind the plate has just been really, really good for the Cubs. So he's a huge reason why they won this game too, because anytime Cade Horton did have anyone on base, it felt like he just got him out of it. He did all the work. He found a way. Yeah, Eric says keep 3 catchers like in 2016. Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. We've seen, look, and it's different now with the DH. It's a little bit easier. I mean, I know Suzuki's your DH, so it's not like, I think traditionally you would want one of those catchers to be your DH if you're keeping 3 guys, but the Cubs obviously are not going to be doing that, but it does provide you some more flexibility, honestly, after the All-Star break, where Suzuki can play in left and right and give guys off, and Kelly can DH or Amaya can DH or McGuire can. But even just the idea of this is a great point here from Shy Cubs here in the chat. Future pinch hitter, occasional starter. That's something the Cubs have missed a lot of this year, is that pinch hit, some of the clutch moments. I'd like to see, give Reese McGuire a shot at that, just to have the extra catcher on this team. So great day from the pitching, from Cade Horton all the way through Chris Flexen there at the end. It's, again, I want to circle back to Ryan Presley here. Ryan Presley, a guy that I think there was very little confidence, deservingly so, to be in this year. And he's had a couple outings that have been big blow-up performances for him on the mound. But he came in there also in the 9th inning, where he just goes in there, goes out and does his job. And for the most part, besides those big blowout performances for him, Ryan Presley's been awesome this year for the Cubs at the bullpen. That's another move that right now you chalk that up as a W, honestly, for Jed Hoyer in the front office, giving up nothing, a low level prospect for Ryan Presley to come out there and be as good as he's been most this season. They're rolling right now with the way that this bullpen and everyone has added to the team this year. All right, we will take our break. We will hit on your questions, your comments live here in the chat real quick. Daniel says, I no longer get stress lead. Yeah, I think the stress lead moniker that was well deserved, honestly, I think has kind of gone away. I agree with Daniel here on the YouTube chat. I didn't feel that way with him walking out there on the mound in the 9th inning, that he was going to be the reason why the Cubs lost this game today, and he's a huge part of the reason why they won it. So we'll take a break. We'll talk about the lineup, Matt Shaw coming through, Michael Busch coming through there in the 10th inning. And again, your questions and comments live here on YouTube. All coming up next here on the Locked On Cubs postcast on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. We've all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. That's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever, and prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime. And you can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. We all know, maybe not everyone knows, but there's something special about a summer concert at Wrigley Field. So that's a great way to use Gametime to go see a concert this year. So you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets, concert tickets, and show tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Today's show is also brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources, and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always be talking to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just All right, let's talk more about what we saw from the lineup today. A quick reminder here. Thank you to Eric here in the chat. Justin Steele is going to be doing a watch along on Saturday on the channel with Sam for a couple innings. They won't go for the whole game, but they will be there for a couple innings. That's going to be a really cool thing to watch this weekend. And with just a quick reminder as well, we will be here tomorrow. I know it's the 4th of July. Cubs Cardinals tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow for that as well. So just come on, keep hanging out with us, and we'll be here after every single game. All right, let's talk more about what we saw in this game tonight from the Cubs. Obviously, the lineup was not great. It's not a big deal. Like when you get the win, it's just one of those things where like you look at what's happening this season, there's going to be up and down moments in the game, but the Cubs only get 3 hits in the game. Their first 1-0 win of the season, which honestly at this point in the year is kind of shocking, but a 1-0 win, 3 hits on the day. So you don't do much. You only get hits from Seiya Suzuki, 2 from Dansby Swanson, and 1. No, that's it. That's 3 right there. I was looking at RBIs there for a second. But let's talk about the bottom of the 10th inning. It was perfect. It's picture perfect for what you want to do with the man for man, right? You either want to, whether it's a bunt, a pop out, a base hit, anything. The first batter has to move the guy over to third base, and that's what Michael Busch does. He moves Nico over to third base, and the Matt Shaw puts an absolute charge into it to bring in the run and get the win for the Cubs in this game. So, yeah, I think you could have asked for more. Of course you could have. And the Cubs, look, this is a strange one. Honestly, this might be one of the strangest this is going to be the most strange last-minute pitching change we'll see in the entire year. If you missed it today, the original starting pitcher for the Guardians, Luis Ortiz, is on leave in baseball because he's being investigated for a gambling incident, specifically about 2 pitches. John Boy posted it on their social media. It's crazy. He throws these 2 balls way outside the zone. And I guess he's being investigated for that. I don't know exactly what for, but so you see the pitching change, and a lefty ends up pitching for the Guardians, and the Cubs can't hit lefties. That's what we saw in this game today, where they're just not able to go out there and get it done. And Michael Busch struck out 3 times. So for someone like me that is pounding the table for Michael Busch to get at bats versus lefties, this kind of spits in the face of that a little bit. I don't care. I think it's the right decision by Craig Counsell to put him in there, because as we were just having this discussion about having 3 DHs or 3 catchers on this team, one of the guys that if you're probably going to move on from would probably be Justin Turner, that you don't need on this team if you're going to have 3 catchers. It could be an option. Again, I don't know for sure if they would do it. I don't hate the idea of a 3rd catcher, but I just want Michael Busch needs to be out there. Like, I think back to the series over the weekend against the Astros. And if you think about, let's say that's a World Series rematch. Like, let's just think about that for a second. Or a matchup in the World Series. If Michael Busch is on this team, I don't care if Framber Valdez is on the mound. I don't care who's on the mound for the Dodgers. Michael Busch should be out there against lefties. He needs to improve. He needs to just get more at bats against them. It's, not everything is a stat that matters, but the Cubs are above 500 when Michael Busch starts at first base. And it wasn't just the play to move him over. He also had a great a sliding catch there in the top of the 10th inning. That was a great play by Michael Busch, something that honestly, I don't know if Justin Turner can make that play at first base. Maybe he can. Maybe I'm doubting him because of his age, but Michael Busch plays really, really good defense at first base. And again, I think this is the right decision, even though the results are poor against the lefty in the game today for Michael Busch with all the strikeouts. It was the right decision for Craig Counsell to be doing that. So, quiet day for the lineup, but in the end, the Cubs win, and that's what matters most. The Cubs sweep. They get the walk-off. Good start to the month of July, 3-0. You move up to now a 4-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers in the division, with the St. Louis Cardinals coming to town starting tomorrow for a 3-game series that, honestly, I'm very curious about. I know Wilson Contreras apologized to the Chicago Cubs organization for how he acted after he was hit at the end of their last series. I'll be keeping my eye on if there's any players being hit for the Cubs. I'll put it that way, and vice versa. I feel like there's a chance that this upcoming series might get a little spicy between the two teams this weekend. All right, that will do it for us. Thanks for hanging out with us here live on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. We will be live here tomorrow as well. So come on, hang out with us on the 4th of July before you go out and see all the fireworks, and we'll be here all weekend as well. Matt and Sam will have their show coming up. I think Sam was at the game tonight, actually, so maybe a little bit later game show for them. So remember, hit that subscribe button to our YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow.